These perfumes won't be your usual summer scents. Who says only citrusy, fresh and clean fragrances are appropriate for the summer? Well, not me. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Luke and here on this channel I talk about fragrance, perfume, scent, focusing on designer, vintage and affordable fragrances. If that's something you're interested in, please consider subscribing. In this video, I want to show you a couple of fragrances that are not your typical fresh and clean summer scents, but I still love wearing them in the heat. And you might disagree with me and say, well, these are too heavy for the heat, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. There will be one or two fresh and clean fragrances, but the majority are florals, vanilla, woody scents, the kinds of scents that I enjoy the most. So if you want to see what 10 unconventional summer fragrances I picked, keep on watching. So let's start with Dior Dune from 1991, and this is the Eau de Toilette. The current formulation, I know lots of you have the old formula. I still love the current formula. I think it still smells like Dune, and it's just one of the most magical ambery fragrances of all time. It's a complete masterpiece. It's ambery and oriental, but it smells fresh and summery and beachy, and I just really enjoy it. I wear this every single summer, but I also love it in the dead of winter. So this is a fragrance that I like year round. And if you're looking for an ambery fragrance that is appropriate for the summer, this one definitely is, because this one was released as a lighter fragrance. This one was supposed to be a summer fragrance, I guess. And I got my bottle about 1.5 years ago, I think. And you can see how much I've used. I really enjoy this fragrance. It's got lots of notes. It's very hard to classify. It's green, it's bitter, floral, aldehydic, but also very woody, very warm, dusty, powdery, oriental, and also balsamic. But it's also fresh and aquatic, and even solar. They used some new molecules in this one, I believe. I remember reading that. So it was supposed to be a groundbreaking release, and it was, because we still remember it, we still love it. Over 30 years later, this is still a masterpiece. The bottle is absolutely stunning. It's shaped like a pebble and it feels very natural and organic. And as soon as you spray this on, you're enveloped in this cloud of aldehydes and florals, nondescript florals. I can't really smell any distinct florals. But then as soon as this starts drying down, you get this beautiful amber, some vanilla, balsamic notes, and also quite a bit of oak moss, in my opinion. So this is a wonderful classic fragrance, perfectly unisex in my opinion. The performance is definitely not what it used to be, but it does last about 4 to 5 hours on my skin. The dry down lasts about 10 hours, but I can't really smell it anymore. So the sillage is gone after about 4 hours. So keep that in mind. The vintage version is much more long lasting, but I still recommend the current one because it still smells like Dune. It still has that magic. So I'll stop talking about Dior Dune because I've been talking about it for 2 minutes, and let's talk about something else. The next fragrance that I chose is Yvresse from Yves Saint Laurent. This used to be called Champagne, and it was released in 1993, created by Sophia Groisman. And this is a powdery rose and violet scent with a fruity opening and a chypre base. And it's ever so elegant, in my opinion. This is one of the most beautiful fruity chypres, modern smelling, but also vintage smelling at the same time. It's extremely strong. It's a powerhouse, but it kind of works in the summer, in my opinion. I did wear it about a week ago, and I only did 4 sprays. And it was magical. It lasted all day on me. It's not the heaviest vintage fragrance because it's got some peach, some lychee, some freshness in the opening. But it's also quite ambery and spicy and mossy. So some of you might call me crazy for recommending this as a summer fragrance. But, wear what you want. So that's Yvresse from Yves Saint Laurent. And I'll move on to another peachy fragrance from the 90s. And this one is Dolce Vita from Dior. And this is a woody, spicy, fruity scent. And even though lots of people think this is Christmas in a bottle, and I think that too, but I still recommend this as a summer fragrance because it's just a perfect, light, peachy, woody, vanilla scent with some cinnamon, sandalwood, heliotrope, peach, apricot. And if you like 90s fragrances, this one is a must try. The new formula is no good, in my opinion. I had it, I bought it, I returned it. This is a vintage bottle from the 90s. I believe mine is from 1996. And this scent, to me, evokes, this is a scent of carefree living. This evokes carefree summer days. It evokes the Mediterranean. I really like this retro-looking bottle that is shaped like a sphere of sunshine or something. And this is just a dazzling fragrance. It's a 90s woody peach, as I said. It is sweet and smooth, but it's not overly sweet. This is definitely not a gourmand, even though it's called Dolce Vita. And to me, this is just a happy scent. It's a perfume of joy and happiness that evokes hot, sunny and carefree summer days on the French Riviera. If I ever go to Côte d'Azur or to Monaco, I will take this fragrance with me and I'll wear it because it's just the perfect, warm, spicy vanilla scent that is also quite light and appropriate for the summer. And I just love it. So Dior Dolce Vita. Now let's move on to the big guns. And this is Knowing from Estee Lauder, and this was released in 1988. This is a chypre floral fragrance, but it's also very woody. So chypre floral woody. And even though this is quite a heavy chypre, very rich, very complex, woody, earthy, powdery, spicy, floral, mossy, a little bit aldehydic. And even though this is a heavy chypre, this feels quite light in the opening, quite bright, not really light, it's still a powerhouse, but quite bright. And even though it has 26 notes, a staggering 26 notes, this feels like a bright summer chypre to me. And when I first tried it, I thought it was way too heavy, but I've been wearing it for some time, and this really works in the summer. And the reason why this works, I think, is because it doesn't have any sweetness. It opens green, soapy, aldehydic, and slightly fruity. I can really smell the mimosa, the aldehydes, the melon. So it does open quite fresh and bright, but as soon as this dries down, it becomes earthy, mossy, powdery, and woody, but it's completely devoid of sweetness. This has absolutely no sweetness. Maybe a touch of sweetness, but it's predominantly a dry floral chypre. The rose in this smells like potpourri. It doesn't smell like a fresh rose. It smells like a dried rose. And the sandalwood, the vetiver, and the patchouli make this even drier. It has some other florals, but as soon as this dries down, it becomes very soft, woody, powdery, and I said it has no sweetness, but it's just ever so slightly sweet. There's a sweet, honeyed undercurrent that probably comes from the florals. And even though this is a very potent scent, I think there's a brightness and a freshness to it that makes it appropriate as a summer scent. It's not a heavy oriental like Yves. It's not a heavy chypre like cabochard. It's not a tobacco-based chypre. It's a patchouli and sandalwood-based chypre with some rose and a very nice aldehydic green opening. So I really enjoy this one, and I wear it in the summer. I did wear it about 2 weeks ago. It wasn't that hot yet, but I'll definitely wear this again in the summer. Only about 5 to 6 sprays, no more than that. So Knowing by Estee Lauder. The next fragrance that I picked is Jil Sander Sun from 1989. And this is a proper summer fragrance. This is vanilla, amber, ylang ylang. It's yellow floral, it's ambery. It's got a creamy, lactonic feel to it. And the creaminess of ylang ylang and benzoin mixed with the vanilla and the powdery notes really make it smell like Lulu, to be honest. Yes, Cacharel, Lulu. These two are distant cousins, in my opinion. But Sun smells more beachy and more sunny. And it doesn't really smell like modern suntan lotions. This smells like old school suntan lotion because it doesn't smell coconutty. It just smells beachy and floral. But it's also got this plasticky 80s vibe, just like Lulu. And it's also got a waxy, resinous quality to it. So this one's definitely not for everyone. But if you smell it in the air, it's stunning. And I love wearing it. It's quite a strong fragrance. It was designed as a beach scent. That's why it's called Sun. So it was designed to be worn on the beach. And when I went to the beach last year, I did wear it. And it lingered in the air and it was beautiful. I loved it. Jil Sander Sun is one of my summer staples. And if you're looking for a fragrance that smells like old school suntan lotion or old school sunscreen, definitely give this one a try. It's super affordable, it won't break the bank, the performance is great. So that's Jil Sander Sun. Next up, we've got Coco Mademoiselle Intense. This was released in 2019, but it's a flanker of the original Coco Mademoiselle from 2001. And again, you might think this is too heavy for the summer, but I absolutely love it. I love to wear this on a summer evening. This is stronger, sweeter, muskier, and sexier than the original, but it still smells like Coco Mademoiselle, and it's an absolute timeless classic. It's got all the elements of the original with an amplified amber patchouli base. So it's got more vanilla, more patchouli, more tonka. It's a very strong fragrance. You only need about 3 to 5 sprays of this one. No more than that, really. And I find that it works best on a summer evening. I love wearing this in the summer. Well, actually, I wear it year-round because it's a classic. If you like the original patchouli, citrus and rose combination from the original Coco Mademoiselle, you're going to love this one. It's slightly stronger, heavier on the patchouli, on the musk, and it just smells better to me. Coco Mademoiselle, the original, can be a little bit too citrusy and too crisp for me, but this one is just perfect. I have a full review on my channel. I'll link it somewhere on the screen. So that's Coco Mademoiselle Intense from Chanel. Moving on, I chose another patchouli fragrance, and this is Gucci Rush from 1999. It comes in this, in my opinion, stunning cassette-shaped bottle, and it's a fruity patchouli scent. It's a very unique and very unusual fragrance. It smells slightly plasticky, but in the best way possible. I can really smell the peach, the patchouli, and the gardenia, and some vanilla. And this is such a heady fragrance. And I love wearing this one, again, on a summer evening, like Coco Mademoiselle. I wouldn't wear this during the day, because it's more of a nighttime fragrance, in my opinion. But, I still wear it during the day, but not in the summer. This was created by Michel Almerac, and it's such a bold, edgy and polarizing fragrance, and it's sexy, it's addictive. So if you like peach, patchouli, a plasticky smell, and a weird-looking bottle, this one is for you. It's still available. It's relatively affordable, I believe. And I think this one is really a must-try for anyone who loves unique designer fragrances. This one is a must-try. It's a creamy, sweet patchouli, peach and white florals. So Gucci Rush from 1999 by Gucci. Next up, we've got a musk fragrance, and this is Jovan Musk Oil. So not the original Jovan Musk from 1972, but the oil version, which in my opinion smells almost identical to the original. It's a classic musk scent. It's a clean musk, a little citrusy, a little soapy, slightly floral. It definitely has a vintage vibe. It's not a modern smelling musk, but it's pretty, inoffensive, light, easy wearing, but very long lasting and perfect for the summer in my opinion. To me, this is just a nostalgic, comforting scent that smells like a musk-scented lotion from back in the 90s that my mum used to use. The performance is actually not bad. You wouldn't expect much from a fragrance for €6, but this one projects for about 6 hours and it lasts for about 8 hours, in my opinion. If you overspray it, it lasts even longer. It's definitely a strong fragrance. It's not a sexy musk. It's a nostalgic, old-fashioned, comforting musk. When it dries down, it does become slightly warmer, but it's still musky, powdery, and clean smelling. Some people find this one to be animalic. Well, I don't. To me, this is just a clean, powdery musk. So that's Jovan Musk Oil. Moving on, we've got another fragrance that I consider a light, vintage-style vanilla fragrance, and it's called Chantilly by Dana. And even though this was released in 1941 by Houbigant, this is an oriental floral fragrance that manages to stay delicate, powdery, romantic, very soft, very sweet, and not very sweet, but definitely sweet, and just delicate. This is such a lovely, delicate fragrance. It's classic, it's powdery, it's very pleasant, it's sweet, it's vanillic. I get a lot of citruses in the opening, some florals, some spices. It's ever so slightly spicy, and a lot of vanilla and resins in the base. To me, this doesn't smell like a fragrance from 1941. It definitely smells pleasant. And I think I love it so much because it reminds me of Shalimar. To me, this is just a lighter, softer, and more wearable version of Shalimar. It also reminds me of some other vintage fragrances, but to me, it just smells like Shalimar, a lighter version of Shalimar. It's not a dupe. It just delivers that vibe because, like Shalimar, it's a mixture of citruses, vanilla, resins, some florals. The performance is moderate, unfortunately. It only lasts about 4 to 6 hours on my skin, depending on how much I spray. The sillage is not too bad. I can actually smell this on myself the entire time I wear it. And I also want to disclose that this fragrance was sent to me by a lovely subscriber and a friend, Leah. So Leah, thank you so much for sending this to me. I've only had it for about a month, and I've already worn this one 4 times, I believe, and I'm going to wear it again. So this is my perfect vintage style, Shalimar style summer fragrance. Dana Chantilly. Last but not least, I decided to choose Green Tea by Elizabeth Arden from 1999. This is probably the only proper freshie in my collection. I have some other ones, but this one is a proper freshie. This is a fresh, citrusy green tea scent. It's very refreshing. It's citrusy, watery, very classic smelling. I only use it in the summer to freshen up, but I usually wear something else as my scent of the day. So this one is the perfect light fragrance to freshen up. And I also use it year-round to freshen up my bedding, or I also use it as a room spray, only about 1 to 2 sprays because it is quite strong. Even though it doesn't really perform well, it doesn't really last, it is quite strong when you spray it on. So if you need something to freshen up in the heat, or maybe just something to spray before bed, or something to wear when you're lounging at home all day, this one really takes the cake, in my opinion. And you can get the 100ml bottle for around 10 to 15 euros. So it's extremely affordable. It won't break the bank. So green tea is probably the only summer freshie that you'll see in this video. And I'm sorry, because I don't really love freshies and aquatic fragrances, and I don't have them in my collection. So I can't really do a video on them, can I? So thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know what your favorite summer fragrances are by leaving your thoughts in the comments. Bye.